Hi, I'm Tom Werkman from Werkman Outfitters, and today we're going to tie something very simple. The Rabbit Craw. Let's roll the intro. Okay, so today the materials we're going to use are, I like these hairline olive barred Magnum strips. I like using these just for the claws. I think it adds some little extra flair to them. Gonna wrap the body in the Crawfish orange. Gonna use Gamakatsu B10S stinger hooks, size 1/0. And then we're gonna tie the eyes with just some medium-sized dumbbell eyes. Then I'm using 6/0 black thread. 6/0 is kind of the workhorse in the thread area, so here we go. Okay, so we're gonna start tying here, and I'm gonna start with our black thread. We're just gonna wrap it around the hook shank like we typically always do. Get it back there, and I like to go about up to the tip of the hook and then come back just a little bit here and cut our tag end off. You know, like I was saying, this is not a fly that I designed. It's a simple fly that Alvin Dedeaux did off of his YouTube channel. That's where I got it. And he has some very simple guide flies that he likes to use and show. And I realized that, again, you don't have to be perfect. So I've got my barred rabbit strip here. And when you put it on, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go on the side of the hook. And you can see that I took off some of that fur because I want that to hold down pretty good and grab that thread to grab. And I just like it when you're at that hide, and I think it digs into that hide a little bit more to prevent it from coming out. Okay, so I got one in. Now I got to get another one. And I'll show you, usually what you want to do is you want to measure it. I like to measure it maybe a little bit longer than just the hook shank. So I'm going to measure this one here. And when you put the fur on, the hook, you can see that the fur is running one way. And you see how it kind of folds down. So you're going to want to have that fur running along the side of the hook, pointing out. So we'll lock that in as well too. And I like to hold that down a little bit to get it to lock in. And again, give it a bunch of wraps. Now you can also add with this a weed guard. You can really kind of do whatever you want with it. There is no right or wrong way. So now that I got the legs on there, or not the legs, but really the pinchers, now I'm going to add my body. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rabbit fur and just kind of strip that off, and then I'm going to lock this in here. But this one you want to put on top of the hook and hold that in place and spin that around a couple times with the thread, come back again, and you're continually locking that in there. And I like to get a number of wraps around there, and it's okay if you get a lot. Again, you're just kind of building the body of the craw is what you're doing. So then I'll wind it all the way back up to the tip of the hook shank. One thing that I forgot to do, and that's okay, we can add them in now, add in the eyes. See, that's the thing with fly tying, is that there is no right or wrong way. And that's the best part of it. So I'll wrap the eyes a couple of times, and then I'll just kind of spin that. And then I'll hold on to it, and I want to lock it in going the other way. You can see I'm going around. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. And then I'll come the other way again. I'm just kind of making these, not the figure eights yet. And then I'll come around and slowly lock that in. Then I'll start to do my figure eights. When you're doing your figure eights, make sure you're going under the hook shank, because again, that will lock those eyes in. And then I like to go around the eyes, so like that. So again, you're locking it in, going around, coming down this way, coming up and locking it in. And then I always like to, you know, put a little bit of UV clear on there. I like the thick. I think it just doesn't run near as much. And again, with me being new to fly tying, I kind of need all the advantage that I can get. And then I'm just going to kind of squeeze that out on there. Just kind of dipping that in the thread a little bit and really locking that in. Then I'm going to get my UV light and zap that. As such, I'll put a little bit on there. So I want to make sure I get it really, really good with it all. And then just kind of twist it around to make sure if any came around the other side, that I'm getting that nice and UV'd. So when that's done, then I'm going to start to wrap my rabbit fur around. And when you're wrapping it around, what you want to make sure of is when you come around that you're pulling that fur back. So you're not wrapping fur under fur. That way you're going to have a nice, better presentation. The body's going to look a little bit more full. And you just kind of keep pulling that back if you have to. Wrapping that around as such. And now again, pulling that fur back. And I like to bring it a couple times around the eyes. So I get it nice and snug underneath there. And then when I get that, then what I'm going to do is kind of rewind this up a little bit, the thread on the bobbin, and then swing it around a couple times to lock that in like that. And then I'm going to come this way and then start to stay close to the eyes when you do this. And sometimes what I like to do is as I come around, I'm kind of pulling that rabbit hair in, or the hide into the eyes. So that really just locks that in place really well. Then I'm going to snip it as such. Once I get that snip, then I'm going to lock that in again. There's a little tag in that I want to pull in to it and just wrap that around. Then I'm going to come around to the nose. Gonna build the nose up a little bit there. And then when all is said and done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to whip finish it a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Didn't quite make it to 4, but that's all right. I'm going to cut this here and kind of fluff this out a little bit. And there's the Rabbit Craw. Hey, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you really liked it, Subscribe to my channel below, and until we see you next time on the water.